Hello, and welcome back to Chapter 3 of Always Ours Introductions. Summary. Splinter is introduced to his class, finds Leonardo and Michelangelo, who also don't remember him, tries not to panic when he realizes how happy they are, and then finds Raphael. It's enough to bring him to tears. This world isn't fair. It shouldn't make him happy that his sons are happier without him. And another entry to the journal is shown. Are you sure I should go back to work? Splinter asks, hoping futilely that Recovery Girl would say no. Not because he wanted to stay, because confusion was eating him alive. Why didn't Donatello remember him? How had he ended up in a completely different Japan? And what in the shell was he supposed to do about any of it? You usually go right back to work, Gio said, peering at him with shrewd old eyes. Anything wrong, dearie? He hesitated. I worry about going to a classroom where I cannot remember the students. Gio frowned. I checked your scans again. No concussion. My best guess? A quirk knocked a few memories loose. But from how you seem to be slowly remembering, I'd say routine is the best medicine. He bowed his head and said nothing. He hadn't been slowly remembering anything. He'd simply gotten better at letting people volunteer their own names. He'd had to ask 3 different people for directions to his classroom. Hisashi, the loud blonde who insisted he was Splinter's best friend, had given him a long look. Buddy, are you sure you should be working? Nedzu would give you a few days. I just want to return to normal, Splinter replied. It was the most truthful thing he'd said all morning. He got lost anyway, took a wrong turn and ended up in a cafeteria. And there was Michelangelo, laughing with a tall man in a chef's hat, easy and bright and completely at home. Before Splinter could speak, Mikey had already pressed a cheese muffin into his paws, the gesture automatic, like muscle memory neither of them shared. Splinter-sensei! Didn't expect to see you down here! Michelangelo. The name came out rougher than he intended. Where are your brothers? Michelangelo tilted his head, still smiling, always smiling. Brothers? Nah, I don't have any. I get why you think so, though. Those other boys with quirks like mine, you're not the first to mix us up. Splinter managed to nod. He shouldn't feel relief. He shouldn't feel anything except grief that his son was standing 3 feet away and didn't know him. But Michelangelo was glowing here, no war behind his eyes, no weight on his shoulders, just joy, clean and uncomplicated, and the smell of something baking nearby. Splinter tucked that away somewhere he didn't want to examine and kept walking. Namuri found him in the hallway and walked him the rest of the way, giving him directions with a small smile and a sharper look. You know you can rely on us, Splinter. Heroes have each other's backs. I just need time to adjust. Her expression softened. Of course. He stood outside the classroom door for a moment longer than necessary, then slid it open. Welcome back, Sensei! 21 voices, in unison like they'd been waiting. He nearly stopped breathing, and then stopped entirely when he saw the back of the room. A boy with a bird's head, a boy with lightning bolt hair, a boy with sharp red spikes, and among them, laughing at something completely unburdened, Leonardo. Splinter's knees wanted to give. He locked them through sheer will. Students. His voice came out steadier than he deserved. I'm afraid I do not remember any of you. A blue-haired boy in the front looked stricken, then snapped to attention with the posture of someone who finds purpose in crisis. As class president, I will remedy this immediately. By the numbers, everyone. Names and quirks. I am Tenya Ida. Quirk Engine. Splinter bowed his head in genuine gratitude. They went one by one, acid, hardening, dark shadow. He listened the way he once listened for footsteps in the sewers, carefully storing everything. Then, Hamato Leonardo. Quirk, turtle. Shell, green strength. Green skin, enhanced strength and durability. Not much flashier than that. The same calm, but cocky cadence. The same slight smile underneath it. Leonardo, lighter than Splinter had ever seen him. He forced himself to nod and move on. Thank you. Can someone remind me what we are meant to be doing this week? Midoriya raised his hand with the cautious energy of someone who'd been wrong before and survived it. You usually don't tell us. You say it's good for problem solving, but if I had to guess, the sports festival? As good a guess as any. Until then, you will train in the gym. Someone inform whoever needs informing. Yes, Sensei! He sat with them through the morning, and it was the longest meditation of his life, keeping his face still while Leonardo laughed at something across the room, while the echo of Michelangelo's grin stayed with him, while he thought about Donatello bent over his workbench in a school that welcomed him with open arms, all of them happier than they had ever been in New York. Is this what life would have been if fate had simply been kinder? When the bell rang, he followed the class out, and stopped. Two groups had squared off in the hallway. On one side, Bakugo and Leonardo, tense and ready. On the other, a blond boy sneering from across the corridor, and beside him, arms crossed, expression like a thunderstorm, barely contained, Raphael. Splinter's breath left him entirely. You wannabe kids think you're something special, the blonde jeered, because you survived. I heard the only reason you did is because your sensei nearly died, and then killed someone. What exactly are you learning from my killer? Bakugo's expression went flat with contempt. Were you there? Did you see what he fought? He broke his arm and still stood between us and that thing. That's what heroes do, so back the hell off. He shouldered past and kept walking. Leonardo and Raphael were left facing each other. Raphael's eyes narrowed. Don't think just because you've got the same quirk as me, I'll go easy. Leonardo's mouth curved slightly. Wouldn't dream of it. All of his sons, all there, all happy, even if not his. Would it be so wrong to leave them this way? Journal entry number 2. Test number 2. Alter Bakugo Katsuki's disposition. Confirmed. The quirk can change people, not just circumstances. This is not a one-time event. Test number 1. Replaced Aizawa with Hamato Splinter as homeroom teacher. No one remembers the previous timeline. The change held, but Splinter is wrong somehow. Disoriented. He keeps asking the boys where their brothers are. Who is Hamato Splinter? Where did he come from before Musutafu? Is my quirk reaching somewhere else entirely, pulling things through? If so, what are the limits? Postscript. 4 boys with turtle heteromorphic quirks enrolled the same day Splinter arrived. He recognizes them. They don't recognize him. They say they share the same last name, but not his quirk. Why? And that's the end of that chapter.